Welcome to the Getting Real podcast, where real stories of leadership and career growth come to life through authentic conversations. This season, we're going to be focusing on coaching conversations. I'm your host, Afshin Ismail Way, and in each episode, we dive in to the heart of personal and professional development. This podcast is a safe space for individuals seeking guidance and transformation. To honor their privacy, all conversations are recorded anonymously. Our guests share their challenges and breakthroughs, providing valuable insights that can help you on your own journey. Today's episode features a coaching conversation with a courageous individual who has agreed to let us share their story. Listen in as we explore their unique experience and uncover strategies that might inspire your own path to success. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. And so here we are today, and in this conversation that I'm having with you, and I understand that you are exploring this topic of leadership in terms of what it means to you and what it means for you. And I'd love to start right at the beginning. Tell me, what is your objective? What would you like to achieve from this call?
So I would like to get some ideas around how can I show up as a leader in my life, in my career, without being in a formal leadership position. So I feel I've got the right to teach people about leadership. Because a lot of my knowledge comes from reading and researching and coaching people, coaching other leaders, but not from my own experience so much. So I'm wondering, there must be some areas of my life where I am doing that already. Maybe I'm not realizing, but also, what could I do to have that experience, to feel like I've got the right to have an opinion.
Right. I have got the right to have an opinion. I guess my question is, what is your definition of leadership?
So actually, if I answer that question, it probably gives me a lot of answers, because my definition of leadership is a leader is somebody who develops other leaders. And that I definitely do. Like that's my whole career. I've been developing other leaders. And I'm just getting, there is more than one way. And I always tell people that leadership is a mindset rather than a role. But a part of me feels like, but I also have to have the role to kind of really feel I've got the right to teach about this. And that's missing for me at the moment. So I don't know, maybe it's like finding a role, or maybe it's changing my mindset, who knows?
So there's a wrestle here between the two, defining whether leadership is a role or whether leadership is a mindset.
It's not a wrestle. It's more because I would allow for the two to coexist. I think it's more finding my way, but it doesn't feel like wrestling.
It doesn't feel like wrestling. I love that. You sort of put the stake in the ground and say, it doesn't feel like wrestling. It is a role and it is a mindset, perhaps both.
Yeah, it's more about possibilities, this is how I see it. It's about, other possibilities I'm not seeing at the moment. It feels more like that, like exploration.
Good. And so if at the end of this exploration, this conversation goes well, what do you feel will have happened?
I feel I have a bit more of maybe a plan of how to either do something differently or maybe communicate differently.
A plan to do or communicate differently. Okay. So something you said really struck me, and I was very curious and I wanted to know more about it. And that was, I feel as though I don't have the right. I want to have the right. And so tell me a little bit more about that feeling. that you are working through right now?
Yeah, well, I know where it comes from. So I'm associate trainer for training companies where my bosses spend a lot of time in the boardrooms, helping people make decisions and hearing what happens and being able to observe what happens. But I've never led my own team. I've never been a formal manager for somebody. And so I feel like a lot of what I'm talking about is based on either theory or my conversations with other people, which kind of is theoretical from my perspective as well, because it's not my own experience. So even though I do speak with conviction, because I'm really, when I train in something, I research it to the point when I'm convinced about my opinions. But maybe the emotional level of my connection with everything is a little bit different. Like I'm convinced more on a logical level, but I've not experienced some things, so I don't maybe have the same, the same point of view, the same, attachment to things.
I'm noticing that when you went from, I understand the logic, which was a very strong stance, to, but I haven't applied it, you became much more timid. I think your gestures, you sort of turned into yourself. And so I'm really curious, how's that showing up in your work, with the leaders that you work with? How's that showing up, this dichotomy of high confidence and yet on the other side, not?
Yeah, well, with the people I work, so with people who come to my training, I don't think it shows, because I know more about the topic. Like I've spent all my life researching it, so it's so I've got conviction and I've got confidence in what I'm talking about, and I've got examples of what other people have tried, what worked, what didn't work. I feel I'm equipped. Where it might show up is when I speak to my bosses, and I don't think I show enough confidence because they are so much more experienced. I don't show enough confidence, so they're not giving me the most challenging projects. I get the nice projects at work. I get the easy ones. I get the fun ones. I'm the creative. I'm the one that everybody likes and good communicator. So I get the presentation skills, and I don't get the strategy projects, the ones that you need to have more on the ground experience with. But I'm quite interested in them. I don't know whether I would like them because I've not tried. But I quite like the challenge. I like challenges. I would like to get the right level of challenge. At the moment, it feels like I get the easy jobs. And I would like to get some of the, maybe not the most challenging, but some of the ones that are where I could possibly get negative feedback. I'm only getting positive feedback now, and it's almost like too easy.
Right.
So I would like to get, challenged a bit more. I think this is where it shows up, that I don't show enough of the confidence in those areas, so I'm not getting those more challenging projects.
So when we began, you said, what I want this conversation to be about is ideas around how I can show up as a leader. When I teach leadership, I only use the academic part, and I'm not I maybe don't have a point of reference for the application part. Now, what you're saying is, I want more challenging projects. So my question to you is, what's the objective of our conversation?
Actually, this is the one.
Would you like to?
Yeah, because when I think about it, I don't have problems. Like with the projects I've got now, I don't have a problem of being seen as a leader in the training group. I feel so in my I've done this all my life. I feel so in my comfort zone. I can get challenged by the group and respond really well. And fair enough, there have been some projects that maybe have been challenging to other people, but I've dealt with it well because I'm convinced of everything I talk about, and I know how to make it fun, energizing, and engaging for people, so they don't challenge me so much, maybe from that point of view as well, because they're engaged. So thank you for helping me clarify that. My real goal is to get more challenging projects at work from the companies I work with. So they believe in that I can deal with it successfully. So we retain the business.
That's brilliant. And I think that's a really great goal to sort of pursue in this conversation. So, which makes me very curious. What does it look like now? And I think you've talked a little bit about that already in terms of your interactions with the people that you work for, let's say. So say a little bit more about that. You said, I want more challenging projects. So what are those projects? Who's in the way of those projects? I'd love to know what the current state is.
So there are some projects that I've never been invited to take part in. They are, because the industry is quite difficult, is automotive. People who get invited from our pool of trainers who get invited are more like the more serious people to do those programs. Definitely experienced, but I'm also the experienced one. But it's almost like a different energy, We've got those trainers like me who are more like, I was call the fun, and we've got the more serious and like they've got more weight, like maybe more academic knowledge. And I don't know if more deeper, I think, academic knowledge or maybe different topics. The kind of more technical topics, which, to be fair, I'm not so much of an expert in, but also they've got, I think the reason I'm not an expert in, and they've had that experience that I've not had. They have been leading teams through, doing restructures and merging companies and doing all those kind of things, which I have zero experience with. So I get it why I'm not getting those projects, but I would like to, not necessarily be the owner of them, but have a little part to see how that training works. Because I think it's not really the technical part I'm interested in. It's almost that I would bear it, I would learn it. But it's in those trainings, there's a lot of space for observing interactions between people in the group. It's almost like a bit of team coaching, which I would be interested in. So that part really interests me.
There are so many ideas, possibilities that you're sharing.
Right.
and that's wonderful. I love that you're sharing this, and thank you for trusting the space and letting me hold it for you. I'm going to try to go one step deeper and say, what does it feel like to be looking at it from the outside in? What does it feel like to you? How are you feeling right now?
Looking at what, sorry?
Looking at it from the outside in. That it's being done by somebody else, and you want to be part of that. So how does that feel? I mean,
it feels like my bosses don't have enough belief in me, maybe, or appreciation of my skills. And that's unfair, because they do, and they give me a lot of appreciation of the skills that I do get to use. So that feels unfair to say about them. That they are wonderful bosses, and I can't say anything bad about them. But it's almost like they are too afraid to throw me at the deep water because there is a lot at stake for them. So on that side, they don't. It's almost like I'm not being coached by them. So I'm being used for what I already know well and appreciated there, but almost they want to keep me in that box, in that niche, that I don't know.
So what would it feel like to come out of the box?
It would be scary for sure, because it would be new, and and I'm so used to getting good feedback. I thrive on it, and if I was in a space when I'll make more mistakes, that would be scary, and that that could possibly maybe undermine some of my self-belief. But in the same time, it's learning, and learning is why I'm doing the job I'm doing. I love learning.
In every choice.
The pain,
I hear you. In every choice, they say that you're saying yes to some things and you're saying no to other things. So if you did say, yes, I'm going to lean into this, it sounds to me like what you're also saying is yes to the scary parts, yes to maybe some negative feedback, yes to some discomfort, yes to some mistake, but also yes to learning, and no to stagnation, and no to being in the box.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there are some yeses and some nos that you would be embracing if you took this step of getting out of the box.
Yeah. I'd also have to say no to the fuzzy feeling of everybody loving me for what I do.
Ooh.
Which is very addictive.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's like I got a lot of it. I got more than my fair share of positive feedback in life, I think. And so I'm willing to sacrifice it, or at least some of it, for the benefit of the learning.
So
I don't feel like I've got much to do it. Sorry?
What's driving that? What is driving this very courageous new frontier exploration that you are going on? What's behind it?
So part of it is my own personal journey of wanting to go deeper and learning to kind of still, I like all of it. You can see my brain, it's all over the place. In terms of creativity, ideas, I have no problem. But kind of getting deeper into those, that's where my growth is. So I'm working on this a bit, and I think that's driving the wanting to kind of, a more difficult challenge. Also maturing, I'm getting older. And I feel like I won't always be the kind of fun, bouncy person. Like I feel like I want to be a little bit more grounded now. But also the learning, there is so much value. It's one of my biggest values, learning, and there is so much value in it that I'm willing to sacrifice the good and fun things for it. It feels like it's worth the pain of losing something. I'm going to get.
I love that you shared that one of your biggest values is learning. So it sounds like by taking this path, you'd be honoring a very important part of you. What other values would you be honoring should you take this scary new path?
Adventure, in a way, because it will be something new. Probably connection, because I'd get to work with people I'm not working closely with at the moment, so I'd make new connections, and that's a really important value to me as well. And just courage, which I don't feel like I've got a huge amount of, but I would like to have.
So I heard
the problem is, the problem is not like if I had the opportunity, I would take it. I wouldn't think twice. The problem is, how do I get my bosses to give me the opportunity?
So I can hear that you said you have 4 values that are dying to be lived through that is learning, adventure, and new connections, and courage. So there's a deep call within you that we want to live. We want you to let us breathe. And that's a beautiful picture that you've painted. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to jump out of the box and to give these values room to breathe?
It's definitely important because I'm doing things towards that, So I've set myself a challenge. I've never been active on any social media. I've not been posting. Well, like when I was young, I did, but kind of in the last decade at least, I haven't posted anything on social media. And I've set myself a challenge to post on LinkedIn once a week. So I'm posting a video once every week for 10 weeks. So I kind of started it. The first video was about the fact that I've spent more than 10,000 hours in a training room, and I want to celebrate it by posting 10 videos with leadership lessons I've learned. So I've posted 2 so far, and I'm going for it. I've got like the next 6 are recorded. They're just waiting to be posted once a week because I need to give myself enough time to record the last 2. So that's the first one felt very vulnerable. Like I literally couldn't sleep when I posted in the evening, which was a really bad mistake because then I couldn't sleep at night.
Can I just interrupt you? The question that I asked, just so that we don't lose track of that thread, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how important does this feel?
Yeah, so I think it feels important. I think like because I'm doing something, it feels important. So it feels like maybe an 8.
And on a scale of 1, so it's as important as an 8 too. And on a scale of 1 to 10, right now, the amount of energy that you're putting into it, you're really investing in it. Where do you think you are?
I'm probably, because of those videos, I'm probably not far, I'll be like maybe 6.5.
Wonderful.
7. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I heard you sharing, you just started to share that the videos are making you feel vulnerable and that you've stayed up all night, put yourself out there. And it sounds like jumping out of the box can be a little bit scary, It also sounds like you're highly motivated. You said, I'm on an 8. I want to make this work. I'm already out there. I'm doing the 6.5 or the 7. So what could you do, I suppose, or what would it feel like to see this manifest in the way that you want, that you're starting to make the new connections, that you're, being courageous, that you're learning things even though it's painful? If you start seeing that happen for you,
it would feel like somebody has seen worth in me or has a belief in me, in my potential. So not in what they know already I can do. In potential. I think it would feel like somebody has seen a potential. That would mean a lot.
I hear you. That's very powerful what you just said. Is there anything else coming up for you on that?
I was just thinking this is good coaching. I was thinking, like having the pause and saying, I hear you. It just makes the emotion land. So I kind of got out of my problem into the observing the coaching. But I like it. I like what you did here. So thank you for this. If there's anything else, I don't know. I feel a little bit stuck of not knowing how to go about it. That's the. Yeah. So I feel like I've got the motivation. I don't have the how. Like if I know what to do, I'll do it. Like I don't feel. I've got a very good relationship with the people who are the decision makers. There is a conversation that's going to happen in July when we've got a trainer meeting, when they're going to ask about those things, and I really want to prepare of what to say. Like I want to say something, I don't want to be a quiet participant at that point, but I want to phrase it in a way that's gonna work for me rather than against me.
And what would work for you? What is your sense for what would work for you?
I've not really thought about it yet. I know that I have to prepare it, but I've not had time in my brain space and time in my diary to do it right now, and I still have a lot of time. But I want this to be kind of, somewhere in my head to brew. I want to come across not selfish, as that I only want things to myself. So I want to show that part of my motivations is also serving the company. Because I really value this company, and I really value the bosses as people. Mm-hmm. I want to come across as a strong part of the company. I've been there long enough now to be that. Mm-hmm. But because we are so dispersed, and I'm not part of the leadership team of the company, it's I don't get a lot of chances to do that. Mm-hmm. So I want to use that chance to kind of show myself as a long-standing member, as somebody who's kind of earned the right to be like a valuable member of the team. And ideally, I'd say something that would be like of value to everybody to hear. Maybe a perspective that will be of value. So I really need to think about it. I can't just come up with it. I don't want it to be something that I just come up on the spot with. I want to spend some time, towards my growth to kind of really prepare and think, rather than do my typical extroverted thing, think as I speak.
So let's take an opportunity to pause here. And I'd like for you to pause, and maybe even with your hand on your heart. And if you choose to close your eyes, or at least lower your eyes and lower your gaze. And as you breathe into all that is that you're trying to create with your stakeholders, as you come out of that box, just listen to this silence and tell me, what is your inner wisdom saying?
My inner wisdom is saying that I don't know how they see me. Like, I cannot see through other people's eyes. So I'm making assumptions here about what people see in me. Mm-hmm. But that I should be testing those assumptions.
Test assumption. It's awesome.
Because there might be so many other reasons, why I'm not like part of the more challenging projects that I'm not aware of. And it could be not just, it could have nothing to do with, with what I'm thinking about, what I'm assuming it is.
Thank you for giving your inner wisdom the space to speak with you. What a wonderful thing you said. You said, test assumptions. 2 words. Test assumption. What does that make available to you as you move forward?
I think it's maybe it puts a little bit less pressure on me for being good at things I'm not good at yet. And also, it makes me think like I need to ask more questions. I'm not really asking a lot of questions. Nobody knows I would like to be involved in those projects.
Oh.
So if they don't know, they won't even consider me for them. Like they might still say no if they knew, but me not making it available to them to know, that's not really working in my interest at all.
It sounds to me like you've started to discover a path, access to something new. I know that you said one of your big values is learning. So what are you learning right now?
I think I've learned the way to speak in that meeting now. Because they're going to ask us, the project I want to be involved with, some people don't want to be involved with because it doesn't pay very much, because it's like a massive project with very small margins, so they pay the trainers less. But so they're going to ask us whether we want to continue that kind of projects or not. And then I want to say that it's such an opportunity for a lot of us to learn that I would be very happy to take them on for that pay, because the learning is so valuable for me. And that's a way that, has a benefit for me, shows a clear benefit for me, that it's not monetary, and shows a benefit to the company that maybe that is a different perspective for them, because they're not thinking about those projects. They're putting the most experienced people for lesser pay because they give them a lot of work, but they're not seeing it as an opportunity for the people who haven't got that kind of experience to learn. So perhaps I'm offering a perspective that's valuable to the company.
Oh, what an interesting perspective to hold. Nice.
And it feels safe because they can still say no, because they can still say, oh, it's too much risk to put people who now don't have this kind of experience, because we don't want you to fail. But that's the outcome I haven't got control over. But I can still make that input, and then like wherever it goes, it can go my way, okay, good, not my way, but at least I'll know I did something, and I think that's important to do.
The word that's coming up for me is self-advocacy. And it makes my heart sing. When we started, you said, I want more challenging projects. That's what I want. And I'm wondering now, as we kind of come closer to wrapping up, how do you feel about that? Have we made progress towards that? What's the progress we've made?
Yeah, we have, definitely. So I still want the more challenging projects, but now I know that there is, I was very uncomfortable with saying, I want more challenging projects, and you need to believe in me because I can prove myself. That made me feel uncomfortable. But now I've got a different way to speak about this. This is what I was looking for, that I can learn from those projects if you give me a chance. And I will do my best for it. And there may be a benefit for you from having somebody like me on that program. Because you want all of us to learn. My boss's big values is learning. They do want us to learn. So thank you. It's making me I still want the same thing, and I still want to kind of say it, but I know that there is a way to phrase it that would land better.
Well done you for your self-advocacy. I'm super excited. What is going to be your first next step as an outcome of this?
Is to write down what I want to say now and read it out to myself to hear how it sounds.
Great.
Because I really want to I want to go against my nature with this one. I do want to also, I know that my bosses are looking for more grounding in me. And they know I can come up with quick ideas and I can be creative, but that's not what they know that already. So I need to show the depth. And to show that, I need to do a bit of preparation for it. So that's my That's my takeaway. I need to prepare. I need to write it down, read it out, and hear how it sounds, whether it is what I'm looking for and what they're looking for. Because really, we're looking for the same thing. So I'm not flexing myself to please somebody. I also want that for myself. So it's good learning and good exercise to do that.
Oh, that's pretty. And my wish for you is that you will take more time with your inner wisdom, which is where this beautiful moment came from anyway. And as you said, your inner wisdom said, test your assumptions. And I wish I wish for you more time to spend time with your inner wisdom.
Thank you.
You are so
I love that exercise with inner wisdom.
Yeah. It felt like there was a yearning for it, And thank you for entertaining the approach. Sometimes you play with the client in order to help them get to a place where they are yearning to be. So thank you for letting me test that and being so willing to be a part of it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Great coaching. Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. Thank you. I had so much fun, and I wish you so much luck in your conversation. And yeah, good luck.
Thank you for tuning in to the Getting Real podcast. We hope you found today's coaching conversation as insightful and as inspiring as we did. Remember, every leader's journey is unique, and each step forward is a victory. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, or leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to share these empowering stories. For more resources and information on how you can engage with us, our leadership and coaching services, please visit our website, www.thephoenixcoachingcompany.com. That's www.thephoenixcoachingcompany.com. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and embrace the challenges along the way. You are capable of incredible growth and transformation. Stay strong, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next episode.